Que pedo, they say, with a grin or a frown. A phrase that's as strange as it is renowned. It means, what fart? But don't be confused. It's not about smells. It's how it is used. When greeting a friend after quite a long while, Que pedo, you shout, with a laugh and a smile. But when something odd makes your mind start to race, Que pedo, you say, with a look on your face. And when someone's angry and wants to fight, Que pedo, you ask, ready to take flight. It's all in the tone, whether playful or snide. Que pedo is versatile with nothing to hide. So next time you're puzzled or want to connect, give Que pedo a try. It'll have an effect. From greetings to brawls, it's the phrase for the day. Just remember, my friend, how to use it the right way. Que pedo.
Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Puerto Vallarta Neuro Feedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Time. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we try to connect with each other and with the news and headlines that we bring to the table, and also with the comments and suggestions that you bring to the table. Today is Saturday, August 31st. It's the last day of the month, and it is a pleasure to be here with you. It is a pleasure to announce that sound is okay. Spencer, I haven't seen anybody else reporting that there is no sound, so just check your volume, please. Today, it's the weekend, of course, and I have news to share with you as always, and we might as well get started with that. For starters, representatives of the outgoing and incoming municipal administrations have finally met to establish a schedule of ongoing meetings that start this coming Wednesday that will allow for a smooth transition in the outgoing government. As a reminder, Luis Munguia of the Partido Verde, or the Green Party, takes over as Puerto Vallarta's new mayor on October 1st. So in a month, we will have a brand new mayor, brand new administration, new way of doing things, and we keep our fingers crossed, hoping that it will be a prosperous period. Yesterday, we brought up Puerto Vallarta's challenge with the increasing number of homeless people that are settling in several public spaces throughout our city. The number of reports is such, apparently, that the city's administration has now assigned elements of the police force to remove those people from beaches and underpasses and other public areas. What is not known, however, is whether the operation consists on simply asking the homeless to go away, or if the city is providing an actual alternative for them, which would be a better, more comprehensive way to deal with the challenge, in my humble opinion. If you ask the homeless to simply go away without providing them with an alternative, they are bound to return. And this caught my attention. It is not that relevant to our lives here in Puerto Vallarta, but I always love a happy ending. It is sad that this took 4 years But back in 2000, four teachers from a university in Tequila attempted to bribe a student who was about to graduate with money and the purchase of an air conditioner in order to be able to pass his final grades. In fact, he failed one of the final exams, but he was instructed by the teachers that he would pass the course and he would be able to graduate it if he shopped for an AC, an air conditioning unit for the teacher's lounge, and submitted a combined bribe of over 20,000 pesos. Now, 2 years later, the student presented charges, and now the four teachers involved in the maneuver are set to go to trial. And what do we feel? What do we feel? We feel like a tómala, and well deserved. And now, of course, it's time for a weather forecast. But before, let us take a quick look at this. Oh, wait a second. Where is it? Da, 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 da. Oh, it has disappeared. So because it has disappeared, let's just go to the weather forecast, which is not there either. My goodness, it must be Saturday. Come on, weather forecast. I seem to have misplaced my promotional video on my September presentations, but you know about them. I will remind you about them this coming week. Let's see. Rain stopping in 7 minutes. Fuck yay, says our weather forecast. It is 31 degrees right now. Humidity is at 68%. And our weather forecast says we're going to have some rain this morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 80%, a high of 32, and a low of 24. Then tomorrow we can expect rain in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 72%, a high of 32, and a low of 23. And then we begin the work week Monday with rain in the morning, thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 87%, a high of 32, and a low of 23. So it looks like we're going to have a wet weekend around here. I hope your weather is exactly what you want it to be wherever you are. And moving right along with other matters, Mexico's Consumer Protection Attorney's Office, known as Profeco, has once again chimed in on Mexican wines. This time around, however, they have singled out a red wine brand out of 19 that stood out for its quality, flavor, and affordability. We are talking about a Cabernet Sauvignon and Malbec blend called Orandi, which is produced by a Querétaro-based winery called La Redonda. So keep this in mind if you wish to give it a go. I checked online very quickly, and the bottle is a little bit over 400 pesos. Not particularly affordable, but hey, it's a Mexican wine, and if you have not added to your list the pleasure of exploring Mexican wines, I strongly recommend you do. Now, I do have a public service announcement for all of you United States citizens. This was submitted to us by a dear friend, Joe. Oh my goodness, Joe, I'm not going to tackle your last name because I just don't want to mess it up. But Joe W. is a good friend, a cluster member, and a fascinating man who is a voiceover actor and audiobook narrator. If you Google him on Audible, you can find all kinds of books that he has read. But of course, his public service announcement has little to do with books. It has to do with voting, which is important. Did you know that if you are a citizen of the United States, you can vote regardless of where you live in the world? Congress passed a Uniformed and Overseas Citizen Absentee Voter Act in 1986 to make sure that all states accept absentee votes from citizens living in other countries. The thing is that U.S. citizens just need to tell their state where they are registered to vote, that their vote is coming from abroad. So votefromabroad.org is how you can arrange your vote from here in Mexico. The website is easy enough to simply enter some information and you will be ready to vote on election day. Vote from Abroad also has local volunteers here in Puerto Vallarta and the greater Banderas Bay area who are happy to help you navigate the website if you have issues. So if you are a U.S. citizen and you will not be back in the United States to vote, you can go to votefromabroad.org and arrange your ability to vote. If you have any issues, you can email a local voting assistant to help you get through the website. Just as an FYI, Vote from Abroad is a nonprofit, nonpartisan worldwide group looking to help U.S. citizens exercise their right to vote. States have different deadlines, so it is best to get this done as soon as possible. And of course, I will include all the contact information in the show notes for this morning's broadcast. Yesterday, we were talking about basketball, and I was totally serious about going to the game and cheer the newly formed Iguanas team here in Puerto Vallarta. So I went looking for their Facebook page, and I found it to confirm that they will have exhibition games on the 13th and the 14th of September. So I'm going to share the Facebook page with you in case you want to follow the team. This gives me 13 days to learn everything I need to learn about basketball games so that I won't be bored in the process. See, I know nothing about basketball, but that's going to change soon. I also want to remind you, of course, that the Spotlight is coming up this coming Wednesday, September 4th. I still don't have any takers for this show, but I am so happy to announce a very special guest for the next Wednesday. We will be joined by my good friend Stan of Puerto Vallarta Neuro Feedback. He is Puerto Vallarta. He's a neurofeedback practitioner, and he provides sessions on this interesting type of therapy, which I've been taking. I've been to 4 sessions so far, and I can see some changes developing in my ability to concentrate, my ability to sleep, and I am very excited for more people to know about this. So we will be joined a week from Wednesday at the Joint Boutique Hotel, which is where we broadcast our Spotlight episode. So at the time, I will mention this a couple of times, of course, but you will be able to either tune in remotely or you will be able to join us at the cafe at the Joint Hotel and ask specific questions you may have if you want to know more about neurofeedback. And this brings us to our chit chat section. Let's go to it. Let's see. Lots of good mornings, which are very much appreciated. We mentioned this earlier. I hope you figure this out, Spencer. I don't have any other reports of lack of sound, so I assume this was an incident of yours. Again, I hope it was resolved. Clive says, the best Dora yet. Why, thank you. And Dora thanks you as well. Dora is getting crafty at sharing little tidbits of Spanish language knowledge. Morning from Vancouver as we head into a long weekend. I don't know what's going on in Canada, but whatever it is that is going on up there, enjoy your long weekend. Let's see what else we have. Oh, this is good to hear. We enjoy our Mexican wine when visiting Puerto Vallarta. You know, a lot of people don't know it. And, there's wonderful wine from many countries, and Mexico is not an exception. We've told the history of wine in Mexico a couple of times, and we like to retell it from time to time. I will look for that little feature at some point and share it with you. But whether you are at a restaurant or the supermarket or at a wine purveyor shop, such as La Bodega de Tony, for example, you can always ask for recommendations and get to explore wonderful wine from our own country. Alan, 24 days. I know you've been counting forever, and I can't believe how fast time flies when you're counting days to go on a trip. I love it. Let's see. Pat says, I am in on basketball. Pat, we will go together. We will find a way to cheer the team. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Laura asks, what is Neuro Feedback? I guess tune in Wednesday. Paco answers, Laura, Google is your best friend. I would be happy to talk to you about Neuro Feedback, but we will in time. But if you're dying of curiosity, again, Google is your best friend. Let's see what else. Is the therapy expensive? We'll get to that. Let's see what else we have. There's a queue here looking for a good wine store with a good variety of wines. Chris, again, I would recommend La Bodega de Tony. Not only is he a good friend of mine, he's also a good friend of Coffee and Headlines, and he's very knowledgeable in terms of wine. I've known Tony for well over 15 years, so I can always trust him in making good recommendations. And let's see, what else do we have? I think we are at the end of our comments for today. So I am going to pop this up there. And once again, thank you for another week. Thank you for your coffees. Thank you for your memberships. And thank you for being a part of our community. It really means a lot to Luna and I. So I hope you have a great weekend. I have a nice, restful weekend planned for myself as I get ready for a very exciting weekend next week. I'll be telling you more about that later on. But between now and Monday, which is when I'll see you again, I hope you'll have a great time, a great weekend. And here's another recommendation of a good wine store, Casita and Garden. I haven't shopped there, but again, I visited the wine store and it is quite lovely. So there you have it. Have a great weekend. Stay in touch, and I'll see you again on Monday morning.